Now, they'll come again. There's Jack and Peggy, and Ellie Connolly, Father Kilmartin, Pat Igo, Mary Madden, and that's myself there, Father O'Reilly, Elizabeth Farrell, Mike Igo, you name some of them for me, Bridget Farrell and J.P. Levy, Agnes Killian and Ned's Mary. I forget who that is, not Pat Farrell, Lord of Heaven. Peter Diffley, Jimmy and Molly, and Mary, the child. That's Mary, Paul Brannan's wife. That's Kathleen Kinney, got in for the day. Now we're in Longford Convent. The bride and groom went to Longford Convent. This is all the Kinney nuns. Scholastic, and there's Pat, Sister Brendan, Jack and Peggy, and Sister, I forget who these are, Sister Berkman's. It doesn't matter whether you know all those or not, but it's the Kinney nuns of Vermont. With these things to have on their heads, you don't know one of them is the Connor girl, that's over in Leinster. That one of them nuns, that's Scholastic and Mike. Doesn't Peg look very snazzy? Gordon and Kitty. That's Kathleen and Sister Brendan, and that's the Connor one there now. Did you notice out there? And that's Mary Brown and Mary Madden at the time. Berkmans and Scholastica and Jack. Beaming, of course. Gordon and Kitty and Scholastica. They're all the Kinney nuns as I was in the convent from Vermont. And that's Father Tiger. Berkmans, the rest of them. Now we're down there. We're in Bournemona. And that's Father Tiger Bob on one of the machines. And Pat, of course, had to be there. He was like a child with these things. But it was good to see after all those years. When we were home, we had nothing. See everybody having jobs and everything. Sure was wonderful. Now, the bride and groom are gone on their honeymoon, and we took over Peggy's bungalow. And that's James Casey from Mahora. He's a brother. A brother of the, I was going to say it, but I won't. You wouldn't know who he was over there and come forward anyway. James is his name, and this is Peggy's, the house. And we stopped in it because Pat loved the bath. And he was near the bath. Now you see this one. This is Father Tig and Brendan and myself and Das and Cart. And that's Johnny Ho. And then fella that's married. We're very comfortable on the card and we look good. That's a good one, Brendan. I must tell her I saw her. It was the most uncomfortable thing. Pat got a great kick out of that. Now we're up in this old house some of the Dillons lived in. Tip Dillon was born in Dillons, Mount Dillon. That's where he ended up. And that stays in Milkennicow. He married, and we went to talk about them. These ones was over in Egan's. I shan't forget the Egan it is now. Paul Egan was in it. He was a reef collector, and that was a brother of his. And we went there because the Dillons knew them from old. And Pat used to go there now. This is Mrs. Luke Gibbons. And that's Deegan, and that's Pat, and myself, and that's Cathal Farrell. He was driving us. Yeah, that's Mrs. Luke Gibbons, Marciana, and myself. Well, you see, and Mary Madden was there that day, and I think Brendan. Them Egans were related to the Farrells of Moher. There's the trash. The churn dash stuck in the ditch, we took that. and she was I don't remember. Now this is Luke Gibbons, the pub over there in Carnes. Yeah, well, they were always in touch with the Dylans, and Pat used to come down on his vacation. Mrs. Luke Gibbons, and I forget who she married. She or I don't know what. It's the daughter that got the pub. There is all them little. That fellow was a kind of easy going, and it was the daughter that got the pub. That fella, that's Frank Collins. That's who it is. That's who it is. I don't know him now. That's who it is. So we spent a day over. Here we are at Igos in Glenadra. And now that's Sally Gavigan's mother and Peggy. Greta Gavigan's mother there. And there's Mike Igo and Sarah Gavigan and Mrs. Igo and Sally Gavigan and Maureen Gavigan. You know all those. Huh? Mike again and Mrs. Igo. Do you remember them? Do you? Most these weren't taken good, but there she is, and she loved her, Mrs. Igo. They were back from their honeymoon at that time. Yeah, she's gone. And Sally. And that's Brandon's there. There she is. Mike is the same Mike there, isn't it? Greta is very much like her, isn't she? This is what Junior Farrell's Sissy Fallon. Where is Nan Murray? I don't know. That's Maureen anyway. It must be one of the Gavigans. There's Mount Dillon, of course. Sandhorse. No, we're not. Oh, this is up at Belton's. At Dick Belton's. Oh God, there's old Belton. And Paddy Levy. You see Paddy there? Mara Belton. And that's Anne or Evelyn. And Dick Belton. And God, and old Mrs. Belton is there too. Oh my God. There's Mara holding Anne. There's Paddy Levy and myself. Though the eager. There's Bridie. She was... There is old Belton. I don't know who those kids are. Well, we're back now in Mother, and this was the day I fed all these people. Pauline Brannan, that was an aunt of mine there with the shawl, my mother, Jack, May, Uncle Joe Diffley, Peter Diffley from Granard, Mary Looney, and he had a crush on Mary that time. Shouldn't be saying this. That's my sister May now, and Mary and Jack, and my mother and Aunt Rose. And we used to say she was like Mrs. Roosevelt. That's Uncle Joe and myself. I used to love him. Pat Madden, Frank Madden, Peter Diffley, Eamon. That's me. And Mary Madden. Mary didn't change much, did she? Pauline. Uncle Joe and Jack and Mary. That's Luke Madden there, Peter Diffley and Frank and Pat. There's an awful crowd there that day. Well, you'd see there's a good... Did you see this before? Well, this was all at the mall coming. Mall. There's Luke and Lord to mercy and Jack and Mary. I don't be sure with the pipe. I still love Uncle Joe. Frank Madden. Where's Pauline there, is she? That's the... You see, at the moment when this is over, you'll see some of the rest of them. This is the party. Blue. Now Patrick Farrell. And Pat gave him this suit. My mother used to do things, around. Well, you see the suit anyway. Didn't he dress them up and send them in to me? I was at in Ballylee. And dressed him up and he had this white suit. And they're all having a getting a kick out of me. Dance here, Patrick and myself. Used to bring turf for me up from the bog. Oh, well, he was a harmless old thing. Did you know him well? Who? No, she's someone over in Bala that came with me now. Hear that, this is all the crowd that is in it. But the same old crowd, there's no use in repeating it. Dear, 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 all them are gone. And the dog. Now, there's Patrick, watch the trousers. And he hadn't in a week, And Pat got the greatest kick out of him. It'll appear again. The dirt of the trousers is up to his knees. Is there? There's all Tommy Joe, them are all relatives of ours. That man there beside his mother did that woman. That boy, I've never seen his own child, and he's a man now. There's Rose Kenny before she was a nun. Eddie Diffley's wife, Tommy Joe Diffley from Era. Did everybody tell her Era? That one is Molly Mahoney, Haverhill. She came to see me one day. Larry Farrell, now I know these has to come. Larry Farrell is on this. Now Mag Ellis and myself and Molly Mahoney. Your own Molly. She did this, her brother is in America. Now here comes Larry. If you see the way he worked, and didn't he look good? Do you remember Lala? You don't. This is Nell Dowd's, Paddy's brother. He was a cop. And he married Nellie Dowd, the boy. There's Pauline's mother, Mary Ann Brown, with Arson Clark. And this is Brendan Hanley on his bicycle. Yeah, he's Mary Gately, and it must be Delia that's on the road, the cabbage. That's Mary and Delia, as usual there. That's all of them I have. This is Casey's in Clonflower now. That's who the brother was. That's Sissy Foreman. That's Kilcline, Peter Kilcline. I think it's, and then these are all in America. That one and Mary Casey. They're all related to me, then Casey. And the girls were out in America, of course. That's Peter Kilcline. Wasn't Sissy poor old Sissy look round there? And Peggy, and that's man, the father of them young fellas. Now we're over in Farrell, Mahdy's, another cousin. And that's Peter Kilcline brought us there. Sissy and Peggy. That's it at the far over where the dogs is, that's where they live. And she had a brother that I knew in America, and that we went there. Now we're coming out of Muffa. These are the children of the man that we seen, Larry Farrell. You know, the cop that I'm after telling you. These are Nell Dowd and Larry. And they lived here. Now this is Mike Donlan's. And Gillian, an adopted one belonging to Pat's people. Mike Donlan, Mickey Donlan and Tess. This, you know where they live, yeah. That's Larry Farrell and Angela. There's Connelly, isn't that nice? Elias. There's Angela. I took these for the mother was beyond because there was a difference there. She wanted to see the kids. This is Gately's, and none of them put out their... That's Larry and Angela. But he has sons, bigger men now. And she wasn't she nice even though she's a nice one now. That's cakes right outside Gately's, and there wasn't even one of them there. And Gillian, a wild little English girl. Yeah, there, now we're coming to Mike. What do you call it? House. Mike Brannan's house. And that's Mike Brannan that's there. Is it Mike or not? Mike. And that must be the little girl. And that's Ellie Brannan. And that was a tinker that was passing by. Now here is Mary Ann Fox. She was home from America at the time. She is. He's Maureen's mother. Bea. And Maureen. And Paddy Flynn. No, is that Sammy or Paddy Flynn? What about Sammy? This is the old church. When it was the old church. I took a lot of this for Pete. To see would I encourage him to go home. That's Gillian and myself. That's the old priest's house. That fellow's John Murphy. John Murphy down in... Did you ever hear him Moosey Murphy? Well, down there in Porthgallen he lived, but he had a house. He was married to Annie Kildare. There at Galilee School. You should know a lot of these too. Josie Hoare. And that's the one that's married on in Tom and Barry, and that's Josie's mother. And there's Johnny Hoare. And look at the turtles. I wonder what I was saying already. The cultural down at this. Peggy is there. And Josie. And Gillian. There's Luke over there at the hay. There's one of Dominic Farrell here too. Now we're going back to the cousins of Pat's and all cousins of mine. We're back in Dublin again. It was very mixed, but it's all right. That's Mary at her own home in Dublin. And there's Pat. We were up for a few days, I suppose, on the camera. Now we're back in Fermoyle again, and this is Aunt Julia. And that's Rose Kinney Hayden. And this is P. Shaking hands with the Yank. Now wait to see Aunt. And she said, go on over that. John Kinney, Father Collins, Johnny Lyons, there's Eileen Igo and Tommy Fitz and the two kids. And they're all gone. That's Tommy Kinney, Julia's son. There's my mother and Rose. Oh Lord, there's Brian Kinney, that boy is after dying was a priest. And Pat and Jack and Jimmy. And God, all these as children. That girl is married up in Dublin. And there's John Kinney. Wouldn't you know John Kinney there and Tommy? That's that family. Well, now where am I? I'm up in Clondalkin. This fella had a big farm up there and he sold it to the land commission or something and got a better one down in Maynooth. Paddy Mooney is his name. And he's the first cousin of Pat Leonard's. And that was his wife. All them is all grown and has children and grandchildren maybe. And that was his house, Paddy Mooney. He sold. And we were good. She was a precise old dame. She wouldn't say the things you'd say. And this is the plane we went over on. to England. We went to see Pat's sister over here, and that's his sister. And this is the one he adopted. And he was the shop boy, that fellow with the pipe. And the cat, Gillian. And we got her over, and she died after, and we got her over. We got she married a Jew, and we got with him. This is the store they had at the time of the war. And this was the one that she had working for her also. She had a grand store there. That's in Woking. Yes, Pat. He always had to pull over on her. Half of that, you know, should be cut out because it means nothing. But it's all right, it's good enough. There's Gillian with the cat. Now, where am I? Is it? It is. That's right, Buckingham Palace. Miss near Aylesbury. That's right. That's Sheila Kenny when she was in Southampton. There was a bower and on. She said, I'd love to see myself. We went down to see her that time. I had a hat when I went over to England and the rain melted it. It was raining that time. We went to Buckingham Palace now, or just sees it now. Now that's Molly Levy, somebody belonging to Molly Levy. There is Molly now, below at the bridge, and Susanna, and that's the fella, what the hell do you call Vincent. There they are at here. And here am I on the bicycle, and the bag. All the Farrells down at Shannon View. Now Elizabeth is making love to Pat. Now, do you see these? This is all the Levys. JP and Bridget and Agnes Killian, Larry and Father James. And I think Father James is the youngest. But Jesus, look at the size of them. Yes, all of them now. I have. It's good to see them again all the same. That's Bridget Levy, oh Lord, she's so killed. Eddie Levy, Eddie Farrell is there. Now, this is a owl, and they're making rows out in Gibbons' Wood, and the dog got his picture taken. Joe Irwin, I think that's no, that's Joe Irwin, Fork on the Head. She's the happiness my dreams are made of. Life can be beautiful. That's Mrs. Wallace, Eileen Mullen's mother, and Mary, my niece Mary Madden, and Pat. She's the happiness my dreams are made of. Life can be beautiful. That's very fading now. That's me with the dog, I suppose, and Mrs. Wallace. That's where the house is built. That's the back of the house there, now where that tree is. May, yeah.
The shortage of silver coins, the jingle jangle, fancy shoes, the dancing time.
I have to look where Dominic managed. That's Pat's sister. Now this is near Buckingham. That's a girl I worked with in England for a year. And I went to see her, Miss Henchy. She was a super. I worked in a mental hospital and she came in as a patient. There is Buckingham Palace. That's where I lost my heart. I'm sure that'll come out lovely. Lost my heart.
17. I recall
this is Trafalgar Square.
Silver spine.
Where the pigeons is.
Ivory skin against the moonlight.
Isn't it funny how things come back to you?
Like sweet wine.
How many years is that now? You weren't in the lands of the living. Trafalgar Square, that's it,
stir the dark.
Then when we get home, we're back again and walking.
Oh,
That's
gentle
where Ollie.
woman, you sleep beside me.
Ollie
And a
Salmons
little
lived.
Who haunts my mind, gypsy lady.
And she made her money that time she started a little shop. And you know what she did? Where you couldn't get things. She did apples with spear, Paddy Finn. Who's that with Paddy Finn? I forget. Luke is in it anyway, and Paddy Finn. That's must be. There's this Paddy Farrell's on my brother that started out again. She gave me money for it. She had a hard life. And I believe that from once we left, they never put them on and she wouldn't let them. But she don't put there's... I can't tell you what it is. It's called her in the house. Oh, will you not? Mary Kate Farrell. I would never do it. This is Mary Grandma's house, I'm sure. There's a Mary Kate. A whole lot of them. Again. Well, Mary was, she was a character too. They were all harmless. There was no badness. They were their own worst enemies. Yes. Someone, Larry wanted to get the back of the house, so we took the back of the house for him and the thistles and all. He gave me a film, so I had to. She did very well, Angela. And her daughter is a qualified Ellis. Gillian and Larry and Angela. Now Mag Elliott should be here somewhere.
I could see the world through the eyes of a child. What a wonderful world this would be. There'd be no trouble and no strife.
That's Mag Elliott.
Just a big happy
and
life.
that's who? That's the young Elliott fella that's married up in Dublin.
I could see right no wrong, I could see good no bad.
That's Jim Gately.
See all the good things in life.
We got him at Connolly's.
If I could see the world through the eyes.
Isn't that nice there, that cottage?
What a wonderful world this would be.
Where is this? I think this is down in Mount Illo now. Yeah. Well, that wasn't the house. That was the Harms house. That's Alex Sullivan and Rosemary Sullivan, Cathal Farrell, Johnny Lavender. That was Lavender's house. And you know, it was the first house I ever seen, a house that had wooden floor in it in the kitchen. Is it? Were you in it?
I could see right no wrong, I could see
But he's doing all right now. He's living with somebody belonging to him. It's grand.
If I could see the world through the eyes of a child, what a wonderful world this would be. In a lonely mountain valley in the county of Tyrone, lies one of Ireland's hallowed spots, deserted and unknown. And few who write historic tales or wield a
Milk.
poet's pen can say with pride I knelt beside the mass rock in the glen. I'm proud that I am mountain bred. This is my native place. These mountain glens have ever been the strongholds of our race. 'Twas here our fathers earned the right to bear the name of men. When they kept the faith for Ireland by the mass rock in the glen. No more on Caradinia Hill, the sentinel stands guard. Our dreaded foes, the hated Yos, have gone to their reward.
Pat, Luke.
Farewell to that town of Galway.
That's looking across the bridge. See, is there any salmon? Lukey is waving.
Goodbye, Barna, Rasmach and Cana. I am bound for a far
Yes, Lukey and Paddy Green.
my name it is Patrick Few.
The salmon in the river.
I love my country and liberty.
That's the tinker of it.
But I fought for the things I
This is where
love.
Pat was born and where he went to school.
Loch
Ray.
must be. Oh, my Mary,
He was never, he felt quite at home here, but he's looking for his father's grave, but never got it. And Paddy Green is with him. Father Tig is taking pictures and he knows nothing about
Do
it.
they miss me now I'm gone? I wonder do they pray for the girl who went away
Castle again,
and left
looking
her
around.
dear old parents all alone?
Here's my mother
You could
Chairman.
hear the kettle lowing in the lane. You could almost see the
Luke and
fields
Julie
of grass
watching.
gleam. You could almost hear them cry as they kissed their child goodbye. I wonder how the old folks are at home.
Oh dear, dear.
Just a village and a homestead on the farm, and a mother's love to keep you from all harm. A mother's love so true, a sweetheart that loves you. Just a village and a homestead on the farm.
Pat,
You
myself,
could
and
hear
my mother
the
and
cattle
Julie.
lowing in the lane. You could almost see the field of bluegrass gleam.
Julie laughing.
You could almost hear them cry as they kissed their child goodbye. I wonder how the old folks are at home. I wonder how the old folks are at home.
This is the house above in on the way to Roscommon. They had all these beautiful flowers. Now I can't think of the name.
I thought I
Jerry Murray's daughter is married. Our son is married in it now. That's the way it was at when we were home. Beautiful flowers around
but
it.
time has taken
Here's my mother again. I think this time she had a slight stroke and I came home. And the dog is always there. I don't know who that fella is. And it could be Lucy. And I do see something with glasses on him there. He's gone now. Now I'll try and talk a little bit louder. As I wanted to take off the apron off me. My mother was a terror for guinea fowl. And chickens and hens. She'd have nearly 100 hens. And the old cow. My God. And this was in the winter time, wouldn't you know it was? There's no greenery there. That's Rose Kinney coming now. And there's Lukey going to father. Now, doesn't Johnny Fallon look good there? Poor old Johnny. And Lukey. And Johnny walking out. Do you know, I'm trying to think what this... Oh, this is Rattigan's in Clonboney. Now, have we shown that twice? You don't think so? Their Master Ned looked quite young when he was retired. He got a nice present of that from old John Rattigan, my uncle. Oh, Father Kinney was down with us that he went on a boat and walked in on them. Many a good time I had there in my young days. Now look at this. Look at the glass. I always need something to put the glasses on the dog. There's... is it Eileen? What do you call her? Fitzpatrick. Eileen, is it? No. There's Eileen now. There's Joe Connolly. And that's all Digo Glan and myself is there. They were after their honeymoon. Now, where am I? I think this must be Mount Illa now, is it? No, this is the Canadian bit that went in through it. My brother Pete was up in the Adirondacks, and that was the statue. He made a grotto above an Adirondacks while I was up there. He had, silicosis or something after he worked underground, do you know? And he was up there recuperating. That's what that is, up in Canada. And we went to see him. We did a tour, cousins of mine, and we went to see him there. We went up to Connecticut and on to Canada and round about again and into New York. Someone, whether it was Coleman or what, mixed that up somewhere, that film, I'd swear. That is still the place, that was the nursing home he was in. And when we were on our return back to New York, we called. And I remember that fella too. Well, he was a cousin of Eddie McGivern. Now that's... oh God, I know where this is up in Vermont, that bit. I know that fellow was married to a Swede. And they used to say... Now, did you see that before? This is like Alex Sullivan's graduation down in Galway. see them there. That's my hat there, anyway. There's Scotch Sullivan. There doesn't seem to be much of it, as enough, I suppose. Get the cut going a morning. We're back again a more. Now, this is Lucy with this famous hat. Do you see it? Or the Marciano on the other side. That's awful bad. Well, you have all that, haven't you? Mm. Now, this is after they've been married. There's a lot of that should be cut out altogether out of it. That's Peggy now. This is a good bit of. But do you see there? That's Pat Igo. And this is Pat and Peggy. Oh, there is a bit in it here. This is where Dominic is. They must tinker. Would you know them now to be tinker?
Yeah, you over the shawls.
There now, that's all faded. And it wasn't faded. There's Jack putting on his shoes. And Johnny Hoare is here. That's Mikey Joe Handley. And John Hoare. And Sparks is young Johnny's father. No, that's a good one, Jack. And was Pat above that? No, that's Mikey Handley.
Mikey Joe.
Yeah. And that must be one of the Hoare gossoons too. Now, where? There was messing with that. I don't know who these are. It's Peggy Farrell's house, that's right. Oh, it could be one of the fellas that's working there. That's the side. It is very faded. It wasn't there. I suppose it's age that has it that way. That's Peggy. It was a bad time of the year. Now, who's this? Is that Cathal Farrell's?
It is, I think, yes.
That's a fella that was boarding in it. In Peggy's. I do think, I forget about having this. The walk, there's Jack, Lord of Marciano. It's just like him.
The funny walk.
And the funny bit little short steps he had. Now, I'm trying to get this. Valley League Hall. I think that one is Nancy Brennan. You know who that lived there where Harrison's is. Who's this one? Is that her? That is her again. And these are the new houses. No. See, this is it's all faded anyway, I suppose. This is Greta. This is up at Nellie Connolly's house in Dublin. That I know. That's Father Kenny. That's where poor Nellie had her home. And we were up there. God, we were everywhere, weren't we? It's fading away, and maybe too many used it. That's Ellie Connolly's house. That's what must be what happened, because it was better than that. Oh, God, who's that? No. That's Father Tig. He was teaching up there. This is more again. I think Aunt Julia and my mother meets here. No, I don't know. It's not the same. We didn't see Dominic either yet. It's very faded, isn't it? Mm. That's the Shannon, anyway.
That's from Dan Murray's house, I'd say, from Tom's house.
Yeah. Now, where am I?
Title1's house and Master Love's house in Ballylee.
Oh, that's right. Who's?
Jack McConaughey living there now.
Is it?
And then Dowling is living there now.
Oh. No, I suppose that's why I was trying to get Pete home. Pete never came home, you know. I don't know who them are. That's our little car. Who, do you know that house? Hmm. Yeah. Oh, I see. I wouldn't know the names of them houses at all. Wouldn't know who they were. I just took them to show them the way Ballyleague had been built up, you know. I was trying to encourage him all the time to come home. So the only thing I done, I made a phone call then for his birthday one time. And my mother came into the post office and she was talking to him and she was telling him about the goose they had for dinner. And he was thrilled to hear her. Yeah. Maureen Kind, that's right, it was new at that time. Well, we were thinking of building at that time. John Harley's house where I was born and reared. This is Jimmy's house. It was I took that picture, let me tell you, and it's just like me. It's not too bad though. That was the later one. Mary. That's Jimmy there, is it? And myself. And that's Mary Farrell. And that's Molly. And Seamus. Oh, they're faded. This is Peggy with Sean as a baby. That's good now, that one come out. That's what's wrong, though. There was too many taken of it, I suppose. Now, let me see where we are now. That's the bit. Is that Sean? That isn't. Do you know that's... God, she's married. Up in Fermyle. Maria Kinney. That's my Aunt Julia. That's Anna. And John. God, wasn't she young besides John? And John looks as young as him yet. That's the oldest daughter. And Aunt Julia. And that she's Chapman. That woman died suddenly and her sister died the other day, the very same. God, this is what we're out in a boat. Well, Pat, that's me catching a perch. That's Gillian and myself out fishing. And the blessed boat, I don't know how we come safe in it. All of us that was in it. Where that sheet? Oh, I think that's down in the honey it is, and that's my Uncle Paddy's. That's where my mother was born. I wonder if we have a picture. That's Tom Murray.
Oh, Tom there, Ballyleague.
Yeah, that's Scholastic and Pat and Eddie McGivern. They were home from America at that time. I don't know where we were or what, as all the. It's my mother now again. Now I think she meets Aunt Julia here. It's a nice old one to have. There she is now. And the two meet. And Kathleen Kinney. And she had her polka dot on her that day. Look at the regalia they have now on them, and look at this. That's a little American girl, Lady McGivern, from America, Connecticut. That's Mary and Jimmy and Seamus coming in. It's a good one, Jimmy. That's Dan Madden, Mary and Jimmy. And sight. Look at Dan, all business. And Gillian. They were all home from America and they all came out. Mm-hmm. That's my sister Rose from America, dead and gone. Aunt Julia. And Pete, this is up in 4 Mile. We're doing nothing, only eating in everyone's house. It was a sight. See, I wasn't home for years, as Father died, and now we're in 4 Mile. And they had the dinner in there. That was taken inside, wasn't it all right? That's Pete, Poor old Pete isn't that well now. And Tig. Lord save us. Who's that? That's no. Must be P. I don't know whether it is or not. It's one of the McGiverns from Connecticut. At P's house. Oh, here we are out in the Shannon. That's me with the nun's coat on, me trying to keep warm. That's still at the Shannon. I think Kathleen Sullivan is in this here now. Look at Rose and my sister. Look how high she has the skirts up. Show them all. That's Father Tig. He looks good and young looking there, got old looking. Wasn't Rose the devil to get into the boat? And she's Swedish. This one. She's retired in Florida now, herself and Eddie. There are two teachers. That's Berkman's. I'm sure it is. Either Berkman's or Sheila. Now, what time of night is it? Am I keeping you up? There is my mother. That was taken in the old kitchen inside. Somebody tried to do that, I suppose. That's Aunt Julia. It's gone from one place to the other. They're up and for a mile. And I didn't think it was like that at all. I suppose bits got broken or something. I hope I'm talking into this thing. That's Tigan, his mother. My sister Brenda and Kathleen. I must tell her tomorrow I was watching her on television on the St. Cart. She's above and for a mile now. He has a kind of Alzheimer's, forgetting P. And there's always some of them there with him because he doesn't take his pills. So. It's a sight anyway. Did you know P. Kenny?
No.
He's awful friendly. Lad. That's the old pump. That's out in the lawn and Lukey coming in with something on his shoulder. We have Mary. That's Luke. You got his on it often enough, isn't it? It was a real... Do you know that each side of them, do you see the little squares at the top? There was a church like St. Mel's, one side and something else, and it got broken. There's my mother now coming out, the poor old thing. Oh, she was well up in her years that time. It's nice to see you just the same. I hope I'm saying the right thing and that you can hear me now. But they're very faded. Gone very faded. See, the washing went on that time, but it wasn't with a washing machine. Now, where am I? God, that's Beezy Costello. You remember Costello once? She died there. And this is a grandmother at what fellas plays the music? He was on last night on some fella's show. The Chieftains. Paddy Maloney. That woman, the old woman, that was his grandmother. The one with the black hair was his grandma, was Handley. There's the house. You know, Bridget Scally. That's where she was born. Bridget up in Newtown Castle. And that's me with the handbag and the grape. Isn't it very... That, as I go, I know where that is. Well, Beezy Costello just died there not long ago. She's with Dowd. She lived... Beezy Dowd was her name when she was married. And the son is married to a nurse. Now he's Evelyn Belton and Anne. When they were... That's when the nun was home. Look at how shy they were. And they're there, and they're all sticking out in their linens in the finery. This is Belton's house now. And this is Pat's sister. That's home from Australia. And Brady, this was sure I was home 2 or 3 times. And she's 98. I got a letter from her the other day. I wish I saw it. And she has broken her ribs. That's the same crowd now, the Beltons, the kids. She's 98 years, and if you've seen the way she wrote, I hate writing. And if you've seen the way that's Bridie now at the back of the Bridie Belton. You see her now.
Yeah.
You know Bridie Belton.
Dick. Thank you.
Now this is, yeah. I think do you know who we have here on this? And that's the Mahdi one again, and Ned's Mary, and see it's mixed up. You see, these must have been broken or something, but there's the cut of curry.
Yeah.
That's Eddie Levy, is it? Or is that?
Yes, Levy's all right.
And that's Bridget, and Agnes Killian was there, and Mother Magdalene, and Ned's Mary and Tulliver and Molly Mahati, Eddie, and that's Eddie. That must be Eddie there. Huh?
Taxi with Eddie would have been.
It must be Patsy. There's the bits of the Shannon. I think this is all. You see, it's taken bad too, because it must be myself took it, just to get a bit of it in. That's Connolly's field, or Jack's field. God, there was had a sheep. I don't know whether he had her. He never had all them sheep, had he? There we are. There's Tom Ray's house. And here I have John Donlan. You see John there? Who's that? There's Jack. You see, that was all in one film. Do you know that, where they were making the hay? Now Dominic is here. That's Johnny Hoare. Do you see him? Peggy. That's John Donlan. Look, when you know it, John, the swing of the... Look at the flowers she had there. Oh, that was another time. What's these there? Who was in it at that time? Johnny Brown. Do you remember Johnny Brown? No. I forget. There's Mary Ellen Gavican. And I think yeah. I recall that our old house there, because I could go even yet through all the rooms, and I was very young. No, it must be me that took them. It wasn't well taken. But Castley's come out all right.
There's Pettis there now on the left.
Yeah.
There's Pettis.
Is that Pettis? It is. What? Yeah, there. That's right, on Browns. There is Tom Murray now. Walking down the street. That's Jimmy and Seamus and Mary getting into the act. That's because I took that. Wouldn't you know it? There's J.P. Leonard, Johnny Reagan, and myself, and I don't know who the woman is with the child. That's a good one, a J.P. Leonard. That's the fella she had boarding with her. That was, I don't know what his name was. Peggy and myself. I suppose there was Warren. There is Dominic. And that a famous one, a Dominic Follender. Yeah. Peggy and Gillian. The flowers come out good there.
It is.
I was riding the bicycle that time.
Heading for the gate.
Mm.
Peggy and Jilly.
Peggy and Gillian again. Now this,
Connie Farrell. Bianca.
well, it was Carl Farrell, and we had him before.
Mm.
He was a hackney driver, wasn't he? That's Pat coming out.
I have an academic shop.
And I'm coming out with cigarettes.
There's plenty there now. Like 8 times.
And you know a good bit of them, don't you? That's Kathleen Sullivan now.
There's an O'Donnell's.
And she's then, now the next place she'll be is above in Fermyle. There's John Kenny and me and herself. We're down at the Shannon or something. The crowd was there. See them coming in off the boat. And Jesus, I wonder it didn't go down, wasn't it? And it was raining. Pat couldn't stand the rain. And sure the boys didn't care whether it rained or not. That's Mary Looney there. They were taking the picture. It was a novelty, you know, this,
It was in those days.
in those days. Well, look at the way the water, God, it's a wonder that thing didn't go down.
About 80 in the boat.
Mm.
In the boat.
Well, we only just went out for that. This is in Killarney. Now, I got a good bit of Killarney off of that, because half it was blank. I just got around about it, and there was rhododendrons in it, lovely in it. I'm looking at the time. Here, Gillian going down to Enniskillen to school. This is my mother's dirty apron. And Nanny Wallace. And we were bringing her down to Enniskillen. And she had her new uniform on her. They're in Longford. And sending her off to school for all she learned.
Where is she now?
She's in America, married. I told you she married a Jew or something. And you know, she never turned out. She was awful hard to mind. And what? She never come out of her box only when Pat was sick. And she went off down to Coney Island, and I put her into a home then. Not a home, it's a convent where they keep boarders. There she is, and she all in her uniform. That's a cousin of mine in Mohill. She's dead and gone. Flynn, she was in the
Chemist shop.
chemist. Mm.
There it is.
Jack went down to her house and we were all there. And God, she had a good trouser. This is a station in Moher now. Nanny Farrell. I don't know who the kids are. There is Wallace.
Sonny Wallace is there.
Tess Davis is there. Anne Gately is there. Mag Feeney is there. Is that Peggy? Peggy is there. God, look at him. Jack. Pat didn't know what the station was all about. And Johnny Fallon was at it. Angie Cox. That's just a bit of that's in it, I think. Now, where am I don't know where that is. That's all faded. I know where that now is. Cousins of the Dillons was up there. He was Dillon. No, he was Costello. married to Dylan. There's Jack Kinney. He had a shop. That's another one of the Dylan relations. He had a shop in Athlone.
Oh.
That fella, Jack Kinney. He wanted like a shop, this kind of a thing. Oh, where that's the house where Pat was born, and down in Loughrea. And it's what a ghastly colour, she says, is that? Says the nun. And we all laughed. It made a bit of difference to her. It was a red they had on it.
Yeah.
So he was an RIC, what was he? Oh, I don't know what, an inspector. Or he was up a bit. And I suppose I shouldn't be telling this on the cross. Mary fell in love with her. That's Pat's mother.
Yeah.
And the old Dylan man disowned him. Because and Pat couldn't stand him for disowning his mother, you know. And he was a very good man. We were daily communicant. And when he got all the regalia about whatever he was, this is Newtown Forbes. That's one of the Forbeses there, that one with the red pants on her. And that's the gardener, the rose garden.
Yeah.
That didn't fade very much. Well, I'm getting a kick out of this because it's making me very... Now, he's the Newtown Castle. Were you ever down there?
Yeah, that's Lord Gannard's.
Lord Granard's. I hope I'm talking into this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Lord Granard's. It's lovely out in there. The rose garden was beautiful. Lord, if you could only nip a few of the slips. There's my mother, myself, and she stopped with us, Magdalene. Isn't it amazing she's alive yet? 98 years old. Now I don't know where I am here. It never is at our house. I think this must be again Clonbunny. Master Ned and Mrs. Ned, but that's all. We went down there. The master was a friendly old fella. They say he was a fierce teacher for slapping and everything. Jack used to get it from him. Jack was reared here. Aunt Mary was my father's sister. That was married to John Rattigan, who was Jack's granduncle, my father. God, Pat used to love taking ducks. He took the clutch of ducks. I could tell you nice ones about him, and the ducks and the turkey. He'd come into my mother, he'd come into me and he'd be telling me. He was very funny. He didn't know much about farming anyway. He said the geese. Now look at this, for a clutch of ducks he took. He'd be about watching the ducks. And he came in one day and he said, there's something wrong with your mother's geese. Why? I said, what's wrong with them? That's I won't see him. That's Michael Casey in Clonflower. Yeah, I suppose that would be the Rockets. He has another one, but I won't say it. The Rock Casey, I suppose. That man was in America. And he married Casey. What was I going to tell you? There's something wrong with your mother's geese out there. Their necks is all swollen, he says. It says, if you say much more, you'll have them laughing at you, I said. So one day there was a turkey that was wanting to, and he said, your turkey is out there and she's lying, there's something wrong with her. I said, don't let the boys hear you, or they'll laugh at you. This must be up in Dublin again. Kitty Moore and birthday. You're West right, you do. That's more Lord, isn't it, this side? He could say nice little things too. Says he. There's Tony Flaherty. Lord, and doesn't he look well? What happened to him? That multiple sclerosis, I think. Honest to God. Oh, yeah. And there's Bridget and Agnes Killian, Ned's Mary, JP at the door. I see Anne Levy there, you know her well. I was talking to her this evening. And Breather. Now here we are heading for somewhere. Yeah. I think we must be. God, I think this was the time I went. I was going back. I was home when my mother had the stroke and it was in the winter. Well, we had an awful time at the. We were saying our rosaries at Kennedy with the. It wasn't at that time. I was home at Eileen. Then we went back 3 times. This is up in Kells now. This is where Kathleen Kenny was, and Rosemary up in Kells. But that's like the jet. Father Kenny put me on the jet. And Lord, when we got to Kennedy, it was terrible. There's Father O'Reilly. We must be bringing Liner around, driving. Yeah, and doesn't he look well? That's it. He doesn't at a grand church. It's built in, as Luke used to say long ago. Well, he was a great man that did all that work at that time. And we were all given out leave. He came to our house out and came to Pete's house anyway when you were going into the closet to see what was in it. As well as putting out your hand. Now, here we are again with Alex Sullivan. And that's me I know the hat well. There he is now. What? Son of Gosh Sullivan, yeah. Below at Corrow. Yeah. That's where I finished my education, below there with my Aunt Lizzie. And there he is up high there. But there was a bit on it. Alex's graduation was printed on that, but there's Aunt Florrie now, the mother. And gosh, well, he was the grandest man, and we wouldn't have a cigarette, you know. And he'd shove a package before. Florrie wouldn't give it here, but he always made sure of having it. This is Eileen Wallace's sister. She's married up in Edinburgh, she is now. Kathleen. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. That's where she's living. That's how she's a good looking girl. We took a lot of her. We should be near the end of this thing. Now, where is this? This is still in, oh God, Lochray. That's the house. And Father Thagda was taking these, and he didn't know. They were, well, she was at the cemetery of that in another part. It's very mixed, but it's all right too. God knows, I don't know where that is. Oh, jeez, I do. It was, and Mother Magdalene brought us everywhere. And that was down to see a priest's mother. Down near, in Mayo, near Crowpatrick.
West Port, something like that.
Yeah. And sure, I was home with her alone then. Another time. She was home several times. She got the chance she'd be coming again, but I'd be hoping she wouldn't. The Canberra. That's where she was going back to Australia. She went back on the Canberra. Wasn't it a big ship? And Joe Looney is here, went down to see her off. Now he was no relation of hers, but her brother was married to the Looney's aunt, and they brought her up as a kid. There's all the nuns there. Look at the proud looking nose. I don't know whether it is any of the would Sheila Kennedy on that. There is the place now where they brought us. She took pictures of it. She was in this convent and we were down there. Somebody down now near Crowpatrick, wherever it was. That's a long time ago. And this was all the family. And she wanted to bring back Snap. And she brought this film back to Australia, let me tell you. And they saw it beyond. And she'd say, oh, we'll have to hide some of it. She didn't want it. That time when she came home, she wouldn't be allowed to go alone into the convent. And Pat used to have to go in with her, or I'd have to go in, do you know? And I said, for God's sake, what am I will I do for her going to the convent? I had something else to do. Now, what in the name of God? Is it? Oh, that's it. But it ended up she used to go and we hadn't to go in. Pat would bring her in and that'd be it. Well, God, you get fed up with it, you know. That's the turf. It's lovely colour there, isn't it? It's faded. This is up on Mary Looney's again. And that's myself. And Magdalene. And she was always writing to all her friends, and she'd have bundles. I don't look too bad there now. It's very faded now. You get fed up looking at it after a while, wouldn't you? Are you gone? I really don't know what year that was. I was talking to myself, but I talked to myself anyway. You're there again. You'd get fed up, wouldn't you, now looking at it?
Oh,
no. I don't know what year that was. That's the year we brought her to Enniskillen to school. We came home to try to fix her up. The mother died suddenly. And she gave her everything. She had a shop and she'd have a big jar of candy and she'd eaten them when we were over there. Spoiled little devil she was. There's Pat on herself. I think she dances here though. but good-natured at the same time, and a great little worker. She was just clean. Mary sold her house then and went to live in Cork. She married Curtin. And they have 2 children. I better not say what I should say, the grandchildren. One is an engineer and the other a teacher. Grandest children never met. She sold that house then and built a house down in Cork. Oh, she's a true blue anyway. She was awful good to me when Pat died. She worked in the Central Bank in Dublin and had her degree and all that. And she was in the same job from the one she went in till she got married. And a great friend. That's her brother then. Did you know Mel Merton
No.
Longford?
No.
Because he's married to her, to his sister.
She's been a dear.
I don't know in the name of God this would be down Sligo way or where.
It's rooms with old church or abbey by the looks of it there. 4.
The 4, that's up in Kells. That's Paddy Green was doing the driving that time. That's Gosh Sullivan now and his daughter Kathleen and the mother and Rosemary, the nun that's in Laytown and Alec. That's a pretty good one now with them. Well, he was the greatest man, you know. He was awful good-natured. And we wouldn't have a Rex, you know, or anything if you went out. And indeed, Florrie wouldn't give it here. Lord have mercy on her. And she'd always make sure it'd be gone home before the dark. When I'd go down there. Alex is into manhood there, I suppose. I know. That's still in Kells. We had a good feed there too. That must be me there. I wouldn't know myself if it is. That's Rosemary. Don't the gardens come out nice? Florrie and Alec and Rosemary. Lord God, all them that's dead, isn't it a sight? Rosemary Sullivan and Kathleen. Kathleen is in Rome these days. She lives up in Tullamore now. She sold the house in the barracks. You know the barracks. Do you know the fellow that's in it? I never seen him. I'd love to have it. Now that's what I'd love to go through. Curragh was confirmed down there and First Communion down there and all that. with my aunts. Now this is the convent, I think. I forget, this must be the convent where Magdalene entered. Where is this, the name of it was? God, look at the door. No, this is Blessed Oliver Plunkett. There he is, in Drogheda. She claimed relation with him too. Yeah. And they had some celebration for him in Australia, and she was the one. That's East Iffley. And that, oh God, that one is in a plane now. And that's her mother. He's a first cousin of mine, and I stood for that boy. And I was over in England. He's smoking. That was the size of the oldest girl. That was in Woking. And that's my hat I have, you know. Oh, the Lord. She's lovely. And they were home and bought a house down in Ballahadreen, or whatever you call it. Oh, the most gorgeous house. He did very well. He worked in a post office in England and retired and bought a beautiful house. And only stayed a year and they went back again, fed up doing nothing. And now he has travel because the daughter is I don't know what she's in the, what do they call these, an air hostess. And I've gone to Florida and all the places I've gone. That was the first child. Just like the way you cuddle up there now as Jimmy doing. Oh, but I'm thinking of ye people up. What time is it? Oh, Jesus, what's early? What's this place? Oh, I'm have to swear on. What did I say at that time? I better mind my language. That's still up in Goatstown or wherever Mary was, I think. She liked her house, and she had a beautiful house there. We seem to be eating something there. Oh, now look at. There's poor Pat. Yeah, I'm telling you, you wouldn't say any curse words. I want to tell you. With him, I'd say something that wouldn't be nice, and it wouldn't be a curse word. And he said, that's a curse word. This is the patrician year in the Phoenix Park in Dublin. We're home that time and he got pictures of it. She wouldn't see anything there now, only a red carpet you'd see it. No, I don't care what was in it, that's what it was.
Was it Folk Park?
I don't know where it was.
It's Folk Park by the looks of it.
That must be where the hell that... We'll see now after a while. There's a carpet rolled out for... Oh, it's never...
There's the goal post there.
I know, but they're not playing any goals.
No.
See, that's a glass enclosure there. I think that was the patrician year. We were home. Now they can go and come every day in the week. This Mary and I goes family now above in Tullamore. See all them, every one of them is I goes. The oldest one is Marion now, wherever she is. That must be her with the band. Yeah. That's her. We were going down to, oh, where were we going? I forget where she entered. I don't see Bill Igo here at all. But they had all them and they're lovely fellas. I was up in it the other night. Well, they're the nicest family. I was in Marion's one night and they had a little party for their father. Well, honest to God, they were so nice and friendly and loved singing and Marion playing the accordion, and she had a book. Everybody had a song book. And we all sang. Now this is where Magdalene entered the convent at the age of 16. There she is. And if I could only think of the convent it is. Brigidine Convent. And I would have been at Drogheda or Dundalk, or I forget. Can't think of the name. So we had to take that. We even seen the cemetery there where they're all buried. Well, you see all the nuns novices that's going to come out of here. You saw this before, did you? They're nice looking. There was, I took care of an old lady in America. And she was a bit senile. Here they are, the novices now, and they had the white veils got. Wait till you see them lining up and fixing their hands, and they don't know where to put them. All that gone now. Look, look. It's funny how you don't forget. That's in the Brigidine Convent anyway. Olive Clark went to school in that convent. The Brigidine nuns. Well, look at all of them. That is sight. Never went on now. That's a terror. I'm trying to think Oh, I can't think anymore. Well, that's myself there. I don't know who was with us that day. I know the hat, that's all. That's their convent, I suppose. But it's the Brigidine Convent anyway. The cemetery. Well, by golly, are you tired, Kelly? Now look at her, she adored him. She was the oldest and he was the youngest. At 10. And they were all dead. Only the two when she came home. That's a funny looking one, isn't she? I hope your wife went to bed. That was a big nun. She was in Dublin. She was I don't know what she was, I forget, Reverend Mother or something, Superior or something. She was a big woman. Now, where are we again? That's Alex Sullivan's graduation again. And Alec. We had a big day that day too. And gosh, poor old gosh, and Jack is there. I'm sure I seen Jack there. And he wasn't married at that time now, but the wife was there, the girlfriend was there. That was on it, but you see it's faded. The diploma, that's just BC Costello now, BC Dowd. Now there is them again. That's the Handley, the chieftain's mother, the black-haired woman. Now I'm going off home, back to America. And this is Kilcline and Angie and Jack and my mother, and the two of us crying. The Lord save us. I don't know, they must be the Donlans. And do you remember Angie Cox? And Mikey Joe. And Peter Kilcline. Mary Ann was with us. Mary Ann Cox. I don't know. It must be Agnes Killian. And Maureen Finn and Paddy. And Tommy Cox. And Luke. And this one now was a friend of one that lived in the same house as I did in America. We had to go see her. And she had a big pussycat. And I'm sure... I don't know. Sister Down was her name. Look at the cat. There we are. Away we go. And hit the road. Now, thank God it's near over. Oh, we're here yet. On the boat, I think. Oh, these is the people we were with on the boat, and one of them was from Edgerstown. There is Mary Ann. Mary Ann Cox is there. And Pat had carried her packages, and I brought home turf to America. I had a fireplace. And Pat and myself fought about bringing back the turf. Well, he says, I won't be there at the customs when you present turf. There's Mary Ann. And Mary Ann worked for these people for years and years, and then they meet her at the boat. And Pat was carrying her bag. She had a bad leg. We got through without ever opening the things. He gave a big tip.
She must be really hunted now, Mary Ann.
Yeah, she must. Do you remember her?
No, I've never seen her, but I've heard of her. She's still in there. She's in a nursing home.
Of course, I was in the nursing home. I went to see her. And I called her the last time I was over. And she says, what is you over here? Now, this is where Welsh. Aye, that's Welsh doing it up. Doesn't it look smaller than the other one?
It does. It's the angle it's taken, I think.
I don't know when we took that we went down and took.
1990, that's 4 years ago.
Was it?
Was, yeah.
And was it I took it? Or,
It would have been Murphy.
aye, Murphy never took it. I was down there, but I forget who took it. No, Murphy, I only sent it down for him to get it done. And I remember sending it to Lewis Rattigan.
Yeah.
And Lewis wrote to me a letter, and he had a maple tree. Was a maple tree in there, I think. And I was talking to Welch about it. Oh, this is the new restaurant, is it? And the bridge. This is all right, and that's good. God, I don't know whether Murphy took that or not. That's a great view of the powerhouse, isn't it? I know Murphy may have taken that and put it on to the Winnie. Lanesbury. Is he estated now? What's the other? I can't see the.
That's been from Lanesborough 1966 to 68.
Oh. And there again is Clonbunny. Mrs. Ned. And the master always folded his hands. Many a day I was there. Lucian Duggan frightened the life out of me in that house when John Rattigan died. Well, she used to go do things in it. And I was sewing, and what the hell did she do? And Aunt Mary and them all gone to confession. Only went upstairs and put a pair of shoes, big old shoes on her. And I could hear the thump, thump, down. And he was only after dying. And, Lucien Duggan, Bill Feeney's wife, was working on it. Well, do you know, she's scared of it. Well, I said, whoever you are, I'm going. So then she come down and broke her heart laughing. I don't know how that's in it so much. It seems to be a broken film or something.
And he's just replaying bits from the films, that's all he's doing now.
What?
He's just showing small bits, that's all.
Yeah. It's different, that song. That's must be, I don't know. That's Kitty Levy. Oh, it must be near the end of that.
Yes, he's just showing small bits for the end, that's all.
Is that it?
That's it, yeah. There's Tony Flaherty happening now in a second.
You have this out by heart. Oh, Lord save us.
He was a character.
And that other fellow was a bigger one. He was horrid.
He was a shop boy there with Molly.
Yeah, I know. I know all about that romance. Is that Ballard Church? Well, it was that must be what he did, because
He's showing bits of how he had this over again, the small bits that kicked out of it.
yeah, that's right.
Cannon, Mike and Jay O'Reilly.
And McDillan. This is the Farrells in the Rookery, Kitty Farrell. And she was married to Casey. That's Lukey and Jimmy and myself, and I think Eddie Kelly. And there's a bit of the wedding again. God, this is going on. I hope it'll soon be over. I'm sick of it now myself. As Peggy and Jack's wedding and Alex Sullivan. You can't pick out that's the better part of it. That's my mother and Mrs. Igo and Gosh Sullivan and Father Tom Levy, Ken O'Reilly and Father Tig and Dawson Cart. Well, the Lord mercy and Patty got the greatest kick out of Dawson Cart. Are you sure that's that's where Tib Dillon went last? He drank himself out. That's Collins, Egan's. Tessie Egan's.
Oh, is that the Frank, Chuck Collins' father?
It must be.
He'd be a granduncle apparently.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that right? There's Peggy now and Sally. That's the whole thing over again, Mike.
But this is now, this is a man one for you, all the pictures.
But it was all like in one, and one reel. Do you know? Not,
But remember you said you gave this film to someone else to do.
huh?
Remember you said you gave this film
I
to
gave
someone
that where, when it started, it was at the beginning.
else.
Where Angie Cox and my mother came out. It was the minute you opened it up. I was going back, and I gave that to put it not to have it at the front. There is the whole thing over again.
I think you give this film to someone else and you put all the shots of all the people in it, rather than the shots of nuns and all that.
Yeah.
That's like
Mm.
Peggy.
There's Peggy, and my mother is his Aunt Rose.
Pauline Brown. Look at Pauline. Mary Madeleine. So Diffley.
Yeah. Pat Madden and Frank, Peter Diffley and Eamon Madden, and me, and my mother, and Mary Madden. Pauline looks good in it, doesn't she? Uncle Joe and Jack and Mary. That's Lukey and Madden, that's there. And Pat and Eamon. Do you mean to tell me it's still going on? I hope they'll hear it this time. Well, that's Lukey anyway. And the Lord have mercy on them. I used to love my Uncle Joe. He was awful good to me. And there's Patrick. Oh, Lord. You know, it wasn't everyone could talk to my mother on different things, you know, but Paddy had come in and he'd said the darndest things to my mother. He was always getting a man for me. And he used to call her Mrs. Luke. Now, there's people that I want them to see this. Sometimes Seamus has a yoke like this thing, whatever you call it. Video, is it? It's John Murphy who married Nanny Kilduff. And it still keep going like this.
Yeah, they put these on as well. They're the board of Monaghan in Ballylee.
Yeah. That's Cathal Farrell. And that's Jack and I think. Harold's on. Oh, that's the same thing. Mary Ellen Gavigan, Jimmy Leonard and Mary. That's Jack. Look at Jack and Lord have mercy. Jimmy Leonard and my mother Chornan. Oh no. Looks good there too. And Gillian. Huh? Yeah. I got, yeah, the master's house again. It's the same thing. And Lord, there's a lot of them dead now. That's Rachel. And some of them is their grandchildren, I think. I don't know, I didn't know the grandchildren that much. It's a different house. Didn't I go down one time and I home, and that fella there, what was he, an architect or something? Carl. And God, I thought we were going to buy it. I wouldn't take a present of it, too big. Let's look with the dog. And Peggy arrives. I tried to churn there too. Johnny Brown. Mary Ellen Garrigan. It's the same, really the same thing over again. Sure, half of that should be cut out of it altogether. It's a kind of a oogly boogly there now. There's pettits. Well, you nearly know them all now. Johnny Regan.
Johnny out from Rockwood.
Huh?
Johnny from Rockwood.
That's who it was. This fella's father that has, the wife has the school. That, what church is?
There's the church and the 3,000 there. There's the church itself.
Inside.
Yeah.
Honest to God. And that old picture. Ah,
There's the castle behind the Southern Visit.
that's right. And that, I think that man was Father Murray. This is a bit I hadn't. There, it's a wonder but my father is here. Because he always opened the bridge. It was a big day for him.
That's it.
Now just do a little bit in about back and that's all just to see what it, just a small